The one thing I really have enjoyed in steel guitar in terms of its ambience and all, but I think I may have mentioned to this once before, the one thing that I found a little difficult with it is that is a book in which, in sort of not Playfair form, the villain sneaks in on you, I think. You give him such a sort of
Short
a cursory blow-by early in the book that it's very difficult in that classic mystery form where you're supposed to have a closed circle of suspects and get to know them, that he's kind of out of the loop. And I remember being like, wait a minute.
Who is that? Who is that?
Yeah, I mean, did I ever meet him?
From?
Let's go back and review this one. Did that one happen because you were having more fun writing the book than, and it didn't matter a whole lot? Or did you, did it just, I've often wondered,
It's
because usually your plots are so meticulous. You really have great plots, and they're very carefully worked out and all, and that to me is something of an anomaly in your writing, is that one guy. And I thought to myself afterward, I bet she was playing guitar.
I probably was. I probably was having such a good time that I didn't want the book to end. And I thought, oh, a villain. You mean I have to have someone who's done this? And so I had to come up with someone, and probably it would have broken my heart to make it one of the musicians.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Good point.
Every once in a while. Books are not done. Books are abandoned.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And you always think, oh, I could have gone back and I could have fixed this. And isn't it a shame that that's out there and the world can read it? And it's hard to let one go. It really is.
Does having a deadline help? I mean, at some point.
Oh, I pay no attention to deadlines. What are they going to do to me? Send someone out to break my fingers? What good would that do?
It's been actually a long time between your last book and the new one, hasn't it?
I know.
Cold Case, has it been 3 years?
Almost. Oh, it's been 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Since Hardware.
Uh-huh. At least.
Okay. It seemed like 3 to those of us who really like your books.
A lot of
we
people
waited a long
have
time.
come up to me and said, well, we thought you were dead. What happened? And, I'm glad they're thinking about me, but I'm sorry they jumped to that conclusion. I guess I'm just slow. I wish that you think that if someone were writing murder mysteries, that they would learn something in the process, and then it would go more smoothly the next time. It doesn't do that for me. I guess I try to find out what the characters are going to do in the book. And then, within a certain framework of mystery fiction, which thank God I have, or I probably would never finish a novel, I sort of let them find out what has happened. I'll usually go in with a very brief idea, family secrets for Cold Case. And as I wrote Cold Case, it became a book about memory. And all of the different kinds of memory, and how reliable can a memory be after a certain number of years. So I had a lot of fun with, learning about memory. And I've recently discovered that there are many mystery writers who have assistants. I didn't know that.
No.
I do all this stuff.
You mean like a research assistant?
Like a research assistant.
Incredible.
And I'm immensely jealous. I had no idea that there were research assistants out there. I just do my own. And I enjoy it. It's part of the process for me.
Well, then you wouldn't really want to hire someone in and spoil it for you.
I think so, and then I think, well, I've done a lot of research already. Maybe I could farm some of it out.
Well, although I did say, and I meant it sincerely as a reader, I'm always anxious to have another book. I would really be unhappy to think that you were just writing to publish something in a time frame and that it wouldn't be. I mean, your books reflect the care that you put into them, and I would be very distressed as a devoted reader if that weren't the case. So I would myself. I think it's too bad that there is this pressure on authors to produce annual books. in order to conform to schedules, and I think that sometimes it does lead to a disappointing result. Mostly, I suspect, because the author just runs out of time to work on it in order to accomplish the deadline. And you know, it goes forth maybe before it's ready to be born.
There's a sense of panic. There's a sense that I feel in New York that we would rather get this box of cornflakes on the shelf than make sure that it was the very best box of cornflakes that we could possibly get from this author. And I'm very weary of that. I don't want to let go of a book until I feel that I've explored all the avenues that the characters can take. And I pay no attention to the schedules, and I don't really believe that, you know, writers who take a long time with their books are doing a better job. There are some writers who can write amazing books in an amazingly short time frame.
That's true.
And there are some people who can take 15 years and the book will be no good. So time does not really correlate with quality. But I have to feel that the book is ready to go, or I just can't send it away. And you know, I'm glad that there are people who feel that I'm taking care with them, because I am taking care with them. There are a lot of editors, but their names are not on the book. Your name is on the book, and you have to live with that.
That's absolutely true. Tell me a little bit about Snapshot. That is a book that has apparently, at least to me, reads as though it has some anger in it. Was there something going on when you wrote it in your own life that fueled it? It's a medical mystery.
Yes, it is a medical mystery, and I tend to shy away from medical mysteries. And that's because I tend to shy away from hospitals. Because every time I walk into a doctor's office, it appears that I have one of those signs across me that says, medical malpractice, or kick me, or give me the wrong medication, do something dreadful. And I'm almost never disappointed. I still remain shocked. I have doctors in my family. Otherwise, I would cheerfully just line them all up and shoot them. That's a terrible thing to say. But at the time that I wrote Snapshot, I had spent quite a lot of time in the hospital for no good reason at all. And I was very, very angry. And I thought, I am going to write something about this, but very obliquely, because I'm still not ready to tackle this issue head on. And it turned out not to be so much an anti-doctor book, but an anti-drug industry book, anti-pharmaceuticals corporations and the outrageous profits that these companies reap. And I guess I'm still angry enough that I could probably do another medical. I don't know if I could do it with Carlotta, but indeed, there is a doctor out there, and I've got the bullet with his name on it, and he's staying clear of me.
It's a fascinating book, and that's one where I thought you must have done some intensive research, because there's a very technical subject involved. It's not something you could just toss off, you know, or just do a doctor or a nurse or a hospital background or something. Unfortunately, I suppose, hospitals being places where people die oftentimes lend themselves, because it's easy to have someone die and then the question arises, you know, was it natural, was it not, in a place where people die. So I suspect that hospitals oftentimes get bad raps as setting for murder mysteries because it's easy enough to plot a book in that context. But there also are issues that come up when healthcare is involved and when lives are at stake that fuel mysteries as well.
I have chosen a very good family. My brother is an anesthesiologist, and you know, he knows every way in which to kill someone with drugs. So I talked to him a lot during the writing of Snapshot, And he would go off to his hospital and ask a lot of questions, and they would look at him with raised eyebrows and watch him very closely for the next few weeks.